we talk about the crooked? Do we have a few minutes? Okay, because I
mean, no, a few minutes?
I talk fast, Andy. I talk really fast. Okay, really fast. So I just really want to come up to the Instagram post that started this whole crooked thing.
The drama between the ladies on the Real Housewives of New Jersey is getting into it again tonight, and we have got to talk about all the shade. Hey guys, and welcome back to another shared news. We're gonna get into the feud between Teresa and Margaret, Melissa and Jennifer. But before we get into it, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and you're subscribed to our channel so you're always up to date with all things reality TV. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Blakely McHugh. Blakely, I have to know if you're watching Jersey Housewives this season, and which side are you on?
First off, of course, I'm watching New Jersey Real Housewives this season. I feel like if you're not watching and keeping up, then you're living under a rock because there's so much good stuff going on that we have to talk about. So yes, I am watching it, and I am team right side of the couch, Melissa, Margaret, and Jackie all the way.
Ooh, okay, well then it's gonna be a fun debate because I'm leaning more towards Teresa, Jennifer, and Dolores. And the thing about Jersey is that they've been so divided for years. It's always been 3 versus 3. And on other Housewives shows, we kind of see a little bit more of a mix, but Jersey is just so, you're either this side or you're that side. And we have Teresa and Melissa, the sister-in-laws, on different sides. But one of the biggest feuds this season has been between Melissa and Jennifer. And it's kind of been over some of the comments Jennifer has made about Joe Gorga, vice versa. So let's take a look at this clip and see what's going on for tonight's reunion part 2.
This was screenshotted. This is the second day after my nose job where I was waking up to their responses. You tell them, baby, haters gonna hate. Love you.
But Jennifer,
OMG.
honey, that's the name of the
that's
game.
what
you
she
wanted
did.
on the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
No. And then I
So it looks like Jennifer has brought some receipts. Blakely, is this a smart move to bring these blown up Instagram messages, or do you think it's a little extra and thirsty?
Okay, this picture of her with the nose is hilarious. I feel like I'm back in school with a PowerPoint presentation. And when have we seen any Real Housewife bring out this large of receipts? I mean, she went to like FedEx or something and got it literally printed. This wasn't just printed at her printer at home. But I mean, it's always better to have the receipts, I think. Then you've got proof backing up what you're talking about. But for me, it still doesn't match up because it didn't just start off from Melissa calling out her nose or whatever that Instagram post was. It really started back when Jennifer was saying that Melissa was fake and wanting to do the fake storyline of potentially having another baby. So I feel like these receipts don't quite do what they're saying or what she wants them to do justice, because it doesn't start from just those Instagram posts. It starts all the way back to when Jennifer was saying that her storyline was fake about wanting to have a child.
Yeah, and I think that was a little bit of a cross the line for Jennifer. I mean, she also did say that, you know, Melissa's husband is known not to pay people, which the reason she said that is because there was another wife that came on the show, Michelle, who her husband worked with Joe Gorga and didn't get paid. So, I mean, it was definitely a thing. And then the Instagram thing, but the social media feud between the two of them is a whole nother level than the drama that's happening on the show. And it does seem like Melissa was the one that started it on social media and that Jennifer is ready to retaliate, her famous words. So let's take another look at this clip to see how this is going to unfold.
Melissa proceeds to come to my page, answer my caption.
Because that's the way this goes. It's called a social media war.
So it wasn't clear on the show. And then finally, to retaliate on her response, ready, was my response to her response. And the very, very last sentence, yes, we all saw it 100 million times, crooked family got nothing else. Okay, so this crooked would never have been said if this wasn't said.
See, with the way Jennifer breaks this down, it makes more sense. And I feel like Melissa does have to take some ownership for her, you know, getting involved in this feud. I mean, there's a fight always, you know, is two people. And we also saw the two of them like kind of fight each other this season down the shore. So which side are you ultimately on, or are you strictly on one side or the other? Can you see both sides? Where do you stand?
I mean, I am team Melissa all the way. I really don't see both sides, only because I always see Jennifer hitting below below the belt with everybody. She's always, but in her mind, it's always a retaliation. But I don't quite see it that way. I feel like she always goes below everybody else and harder than everybody else. And I just don't think that you need to do that. I mean, in life, you don't need to give people back what you feel like you are getting. And just because you hit harder, it doesn't justify it because you believe that it's a retaliation. So I'm Melissa all the way, but I know that you probably feel differently.
I mean, I do agree. Jennifer kind of crosses the line more than anyone else on the show. I mean, Teresa and Margaret also cross lines as well. Jennifer kind of goes below the belt, but I also feel like in Jennifer's defense, Jackie, Margaret, and Melissa, they're kind of annoying. I mean, the three of them have this, they say the same things, they do the same things, they refuse to break up. It almost feels like an alliance more than like a friendship sometimes because they refuse to kind of hold each other accountable. And it's probably frustrating when there's like a gang up and the three of them just are always ganging up. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the other drama and housewives, on the stage right now, because Teresa and Margaret have also been fighting all season long. Where do you stand on that?
I mean, I'm sticking with the right side of the couch. I'm with Margaret, and I feel like we were talking before this about a little bit. Like, I always feel like Margaret has been a good friend to Teresa. Her first season on, she created that beautiful wreath and had that whole memorial for Teresa's mom. I feel like Margaret has shown us that she does care about Teresa and that they are good friends. I just truly think that Teresa and Margaret have different expectations of what they want out of a friend and how they are a friend to somebody. In Margaret's mind, she thinks asking questions, bringing up the situation in general, not necessarily on camera, but just in general, is helping Teresa because she wants to protect her from maybe what happened to her with her ex-husband. Whereas Teresa doesn't want that from a friend. She doesn't want to be asked. She wants to be left alone. So she sees it as not being a good friend. But I just don't understand. I feel like what Teresa has done to Margaret over the years, i.e. all the names that she's called her, having Danielle pull her ponytail, throwing wine and food on her. I mean, the list goes on, is well beyond, I feel like, what Margaret has done, and does not even, they don't equate. Margaret asking Teresa questions does not equate to all the things that Teresa has done to Margaret.
I mean, this is why we love Jersey, because there's so much drama and there's so much chaos. I mean, you just mentioned being, thrown at things, wine glasses, table flipping. I mean, Margaret also has her share of pushing people in the pool and throwing wine on people. But I think the thing is with Margaret is there's a difference between asking questions and prying. And I mean, we're all nosy. I've pried before in my friend's business, but like Margaret just refused to stop all season long. She's just prying into Teresa's business, prying into Teresa's relationship. And while Teresa wants to protect this relationship, she also needs to know that she has to give a little because she is on a reality show and people are curious. They want to know who this new guy is in the group. So it's kind of frustrating that they were never able to meet in the middle throughout the season. Do you think at the reunion they'll be able to squash it? Or do we think they're not speaking right now because they just started filming the new season?
No, I don't think they're squashing it. I don't think these two are ever going to make up. Wow. I find that Margaret could probably be cordial with Teresa and be in the same room because she's been able to. She's been able to have dinners with everybody, not ruin it, where Teresa has not been able to. If she has a problem with somebody, everybody knows about it, and there's no cordialness with Teresa when it comes to others. So I genuinely do not know where they go with this friendship, if they go anywhere with it. And Zach, I want to ask you, don't you think that if Teresa responded to Margaret saying something along the lines of, I know you feel like you're coming from a good place and you are trying to be a good friend to me, but I'm letting you know I do not want to talk about it. I'm dealing with it, and that's it. I feel like that would have squashed everything, and then both parties would have been happy.
I do agree that Teresa could work on her communication skills because clearly she just doesn't know how. And even at the first part of the reunion, she's just throwing little jabs. And I'm like, is this really part of the show, or is this actually how these people communicate? Because I'm putting myself in like their position, and I'm just like, what's the point of insulting the person on the other side of the couch so many times. Like, how are you going to be able to resolve anything? And we did see Teresa and Margaret, you know, have a civilized conversation in Nashville until it took a left on the finale. Like, they were making progress. So hopefully they make some more progress at the reunion. We will be watching part 2. Before we go, I want to ask you, because I've heard around the street in Jersey Housewives that they started filming for the new season. They're testing a few newbies, and that Jackie was actually demoted to a friend of and no longer going to be a full-time housewife for next season. What do you make of this news?
I mean, that hurts my heart. Here, this woman is like, you know, telling this incredibly brave, courageous story that was really hard for her, that I think actually really helped probably a lot of people, made a lot of people feel like they weren't alone, and shared this story. And here she goes and bears it all, and then gets booted to friend up. I mean, I feel like she should at least get one more season of being a main housewife before you get the boot after telling, you know, this story that we see is extremely difficult. I feel like she, although she doesn't get into the drama as much as the other women, I feel like recently she's been holding her ground against Teresa a little bit more. She doesn't just, you know, like roll over with her. And I feel like I like Jackie, a part of the Housewives. So I feel like she's been a really integral part, and at least give her one more season. I mean, you can't really kick her off after the woman like bears her heart, you know?
Yeah, I mean, friend of, she'll still be, you know, in most of the episodes. We saw that with Tracy last season. So I don't think it'll be that much of a difference. It kind of seems like Jackie gave everything she had, you know, with this storyline this season and opening up. And Bravo was like, okay, great. We got everything we needed from you. And now we don't need any more. So it's almost like you want to give them.
Yeah, they're like, okay, great, but wasn't good enough.
No, it's almost like you want to like give them like some of your story, but like keep it going. Like Jackie almost like gave all her cards away, because it's not necessarily like real life. It's like a show. So it's like you kind of have to like think like a producer if you want to stay on longer, if you're a reality star. And I think with Teresa, I mean, she's just the center. So she'll be on forever. But I mean, that is everything we have for you guys today. We want to know your opinions on the Jersey Housewives. Are you team Teresa? Are you team Margaret, Melissa, or Jennifer? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel before you head out of here. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Blakely McHugh. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow. Come say hello, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.